Hello and welcome to our latest edition of Business Spotlight. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Danny from Skipper Recruit. Danny, nice to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me.
No problem. So, Danny, why don't you start just by telling us a little bit about yourself and what Skipper Recruit does?
Cool. So obviously Danny Skipper, originally from the Midlands, and I've obviously been living in Norfolk now for probably a good sort of 15 years of my life. And yeah, I'm now into recruitment, mainly sort of driver recruitment. So anything from a van driver up to a sort of HGV driver. So yeah, that's predominantly what we do when we cover East Anglia and Lincolnshire at the moment.
Very good. And what got you started in the business in the first place?
um, yeah, it's a random one. So no, I met this military. So I was straight from school to the military. I was in the Household Cavalry, and I randomly, sort of luckily, got my HGV. So I've always liked driving big vehicles and stuff. So I got into it when I come out of the army. I went straight into HGV driving, sort of for a local firm in Norwich. And then it randomly fell into place. I got sort of a friend of mine said there's a job going at a recruitment agency, and I was quite a big one at the time. Took the gamble, and I sort of progressed sort of very well in it. Sort of saying that gone into a business development manager's role, and then the divisional manager in the driving division, and then there come an opportunity where I could start my own business, and I took the plunge. Literally, it was the start of COVID. It was a bit of a gamble. Obviously, COVID was a horrible situation, but in our sort of world, a lot of people needed cover for the poor buggers who were ill or things like that going on. And yeah, and it grew massively. I mean, we're nearly, I think it's, don't quote me exactly, but I think 3 years, it sort of June-ish time, we've become sort of one of the leading driver recruitment agencies across East Anglia and Lincolnshire. Definitely, I'm not the biggest agency, but in the driving world, I'm well up there. So yeah, that's very random how I got into it, but that's the short story of it.
But also through that really tough time of COVID as well, which was challenging for everybody. But to get the business up and
Yeah,
running period is a real sign of successful things to
yeah.
come.
Well, yeah. I mean, right at the start, it was sort of myself at home, obviously right in COVID, and then I needed to, even though it was COVID, there was still obviously sort of office complexes are open as such, and I needed to be out of the house. There's too many distractions, so I moved into a little office of myself. But yeah, it was a weird time, especially with everything going on. But no, it in this line of work, like I say, and then it's people needed cover, and obviously a lot of this industry as well are a bit older. That's sort of the problem with the industry is a lot of older people, so health conditions and stuff. So yeah, it was a random time, but it worked very well for the business, help it grow very quickly.
That's brilliant. And what's your ideal sort of customer? Tell us who you work with.
So, well, I will work with anyone within reason, but no, anyone what it has. So I do sort of driving and industrial. Obviously, driving's a big part of it, but obviously I'm delving into industrial and stuff now. But it's anyone really who needs cover with a driver. So if they've got a van, got a fleet of vans or trucks, if anyone goes on sick or they need cover, they need that van working, we can supply the driver. So we don't fly the vehicle, it's the driver only. And same with obviously when busy periods, some of the companies will hire new trucks. So it's extra workload. So anything from sickness, holiday cover, extra workload, or if you're lucky, some of the clients who like using agency for the flexibility. So they'll use agencies all year round. So it can vary. It can be a courier business to a haulier who's doing containers, tankers to your normal general haulage. It can be kind of anything really. Yeah, anything legal. Obviously, they've got to be compliant.
Yeah.
We want to work with good companies who have got good reputations, ideally.
Yes, of course. And tell
Yeah.
us a bit more about your day-to-day role in the business then.
So, because like I say, there's 3/4 of us in the office, so we haven't got a massive office, and we're in Drayton in our sort of our office. But for me, I still heavily involved. I mean, in theory, I could let the teams do it, but I'll never be that guy. I like sitting there on a desk, being in the mix. Even though I'm the MD of the company, I'm still one of the consultants, and I still love doing sales. I'm still helping the guys fill stuff, do adverts, social media, all that stuff. So yeah, I'm still heavily involved. They can run it by themselves. I mean, it's not that they can't. I help them. They're running the show for me. I'm there just helping anything what needs doing at the time. So I'm still in the mix doing the stuff. I enjoy it. Sales is the thing I like doing. Also trying to get out and see new clients. If I get a new client, I'm still buzzing. If it was the first day, I must be getting on that sort of 6 years, just over 6 years in the recruitment world now, and I still love it like day one. Can be stressful though, but I still got the buzz.
Very good. So just thinking back then to when you first started the business up, and it might be hard to pick just one, but is there one thing that jumps out at you that you would do differently if you could start it all over again?
Cool. I think at the start, I was obviously the advice. I mean, it was a lot of long hours, and I think at the start, I'd be sitting there for such a long hour, especially when I was doing it myself. It can become stressful a lot. I mean, to start a business is always stressful anyway, but I was doing too many long hours, and I think if I could change time, doing less time would have been beneficial. I think I was exhausting myself doing too much when everything was going right anyway. It was, yeah, I think really, because I think I'm not gonna lie, everything went pretty well, but I think the first month or two was me overdoing it. But I'm quite a hyperactive, busy person anyway, so it was quite hard, and the sleepless nights. But yeah, I think from the start, it's not doing too much. Weirdly, it's it's quite hard to explain it. I was doing just sitting in front of a computer screen all day, and maybe not taking that half an hour at lunch and going for a walk and clearing your heads, things like that. It's right at the start, it was very stressful. So for me, I would try to do less. Weirdly,
Yeah, sometimes doing less actually benefits in the longer run, doesn't it? And so thinking about now then in the business, what do you find the biggest challenges are that you're facing today?
So today, it's just the economic climate at the minute. It's I think the last sort of a couple of years with COVID is everyone's been really busy, been very busy, and we've seen the start of this year especially. It's been very, very quiet. I'm not gonna lie, I think it's been more quiet at the start of this quarter than it has been for many years. But what I think has been the shock to it all is I think we've seemed to have gone back before the times of COVID, where traditionally your first quarter is quiet, but because we've been on it's literally been such a high, it's now gone back to the originals, and I've obviously been thinking, what's going on? Not panicking, but you're thinking, oh, and we're doing everything right and stuff. But you seem to be hearing out there, everyone's going through the same boat. Speak to my clients, they're in the same boat, worrying about their own drivers having enough work. So yeah, I mean, it's just quiet at the minute, but we trust the process. We're now starting, hopefully, to come up to the sort of start of holiday seasons where people are going to start booking drivers. I've luckily got a very good client base, so I've still got drivers out, and things are going well. I can't complain, but obviously, hopefully, it starts picking up sooner rather than later.
Yeah, definitely. And what do you see as your aspirations for the business over the next few years?
Well, like I said, there's a few things, to be honest. I mean, we've delved in and out with industrial, but it's something I really want to grow, because obviously a lot of my clients have warehouses full of drivers in it, so it's something naturally to tag on to that. A big thing I do really want to get into is the construction industry as well. So starting a construction division, which I do know there is a lot of agencies around here who do it, but it is a big old industry. So I think it's something I want to delve into, and also, like I sort of mentioned, and I do have a marketing company, which was initially called Think Marketing, but we rebranded it to Think Socials and Outfort, and that's really starting to pick up as well. We've now got a good few clients. It's growing week by week, and I've got a fella called Alex who's our creative director. He's sort of running it as such, and that's going really well. So we have got a lot of things bubbling, but the driving and construction world. I just don't want everything to pick up before I go. Got to be, you know what I mean. You've got to be careful. You've got to be clever with it. But I've got a lot of stuff to go to potentially.
And it sounds like you're busy, and there's lots of
Yeah.
things going on at once. When you think
Yeah.
across those businesses, what do you think the key ingredients are for a successful business?
Um, it's finding other people to do it with you. It's as simple as that. I mean, there's only so much one person can do, but my team in there, Leanne, for instance, who's sort of my senior consultant on the driving, she's been here enough nearly since day one. Wouldn't been able to do it without her. I'd have probably had a mental breakdown or something like that. She's been here since the start. I need the team. Same with the marketing company, Alex. It's 20 years and it gets so good. And again, if I want to delve into the construction and it's finding the right people, because you can't do that. It's finding the right staff, the people who have the same, they think like yourself, want to grow the business, all to do with who you can get in the business. Because yeah, it's as simple as that. You need the right staff, people who've got the same mindset as you, and who want to grow a business, basically. So yeah, I can't do it without any of these guys in here. It's only so much I can do. But yeah, no, finding the right staff, 100%.
And would that carry across then if you think about giving advice to anyone who's keen to start their own business and looking to other successful business owners and what they've learned about how to do things the right way to get the growth you're looking for? What piece of advice would you have for them if they're looking to start up?
So I've got a couple of business partners, and it's surrounding yourself with the right people. I've got like I say, I've got two business partners, and they've got their own businesses separate to our little group, and it's listening and learning, but also it's a weird one. This one, it's listening to the right people, because you get advice from all different types of people, and sometimes it's not very good. So I've surrounded myself with good people, and I tend to do my own thing. I don't listen to what the other agencies are doing. I don't want to hear their figures. I don't want to hear what's going on. You knuckle down, find the correct people, and listen to advice, but do your own thing, if you know what I mean. So you want to take good advice, but do your own thing. Don't listen to what's going on around. Knuckle down and do your own thing. And then if it's the right thing, it'll all go well anyway. So that's one bit of advice to do. Find good people, stick with them, and knuckle down and do your own thing.
Fantastic. Great piece of advice. Thank you, Danny. And thank you so much for your time today. Before we sign off, if people want to find out more about you and your business, where's the best place for them to go to?
Oh yeah, perfect. So obviously we're on the socials. Obviously Facebook's a big one, Skipper Recruit Limited. Same with your Instagram and Twitter. And obviously we've got a website, which is obviously www.skipper-recruit.co.uk. And there's all links to different things, all the jobs, all the different things we do. They're the best ones. And then obviously the easiest one's giving us a call, which obviously is 01603 299 229.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking with you today, and wish you all the very best for the business in the future.
No, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for letting me on here. Thank you.
Bye.
Nice one. Cheers. Bye.